Do you know what I always look forward to? End of the year award shows where people come to celebrate most accomplished works in their respective medium. But myself, I come for the salt, and there is plenty of that. Where the shows I like did not win jack shit, and the shows I don't like just keep winning. Anime awards tend to be held in the salt mines, since every year, inevitably, there is going to be drama. Wah! My anime had so much karma. Why did it not win? How come this anime, that is clearly fantasy, won best fantasy? Strawmanning aside, when it comes to anime awards, my biggest problem with them is that they are just popularity contests. You can probably already guess the nomination for this year's anime awards just by sorting by popularity. I could keep shaming anyone who takes these awards seriously, but when it comes to anime, better production value tends to translate to a more quality product. So popular series with tons of financial backing will rise like cream to the top, and hoard nominations like a dragon. Don't take this the wrong way. 2023 was a good year for anime, and there is a lot of great stuff to watch. Pluto, Heavenly Delusions, Body Daddies, and I'm not even including shows that overlap with 2022. Not to diss on the more popular ones like their trash, Attack on Titan ended to a, should I say, surprisingly positive reception. Oshinoko said some interesting things about society, and both Vinland Saga and Jujutsu Kaisen showed us the cruelty and the horrifying reality of slave labor. Still, I'm a bit cynical when I'm looking at this list of Anime of the Year winners. Not to harp on this point, but it still feels like a popularity contest, and there is nothing I could not have predicted before the year started. Wait a second, zoom in on that. The fuck is Bang Dream It's MyGO? Bang Dream It's MyGO, or just MyGO from now on, is a drama about an idol rock band in the Bang Dream universe. Universe which is... Now I'm not that into idols, or any shows about idols really, and even less about the industry behind it all. I just make fun of Berserk fans and post idol masters like any normal person. So I was treading uncharted waters when I first started watching MyGo. Like for instance, my closest frame of reference is Bocchi the Rock, so expect ham-fisted comparisons that do not make any sense. Even while watching MyGo, and spoilers, I loved it, I could have gotten more out of it if I was into Bang Dream universe. I felt that there were tons of Easter eggs everywhere, but it didn't take me out of the show. But if you're into Bang Dream, then please leave a comment how you felt first time watching MyGo. Did it enhance your viewing experience? I don't bother asking anyone else, since this might be first time you hear about MyGo at all. I don't want to limit myself while talking about the show, so I'm giving you a spoiler warning. Skip to here if you want to hear my ramblings, why we need more jury awards like there are anime ones. Now, I'm assuming that you probably have eyes, so riddle me this. I spy something with my little eye starting with C. That's right, it's Krychik. What do you think it was? Okay, let's talk about CGI first, which probably put a lot of people off from the anime. Also, it probably didn't help that the trailers looked awful. Unfortunately, or fortunately, the CGI is the weakest part of the show. But after the first 2 episodes, it kept getting better and better. And it's not like the first 2 episodes didn't have nice shots, like this one for example. I don't know why I like it, but I do. Still, when there was a shot that was bad, usually an establishing shot of our characters, then it almost took me out of the experience. I was almost no-go for MyGo. On the opposite end, there are also some nice 2D shots mixed in, usually as a comedic reaction from one of our characters, and the CGI can do these nice moving shots that would be way harder to do with 2D. Still, after 6 episodes, I could feel that the studio were getting the hang of it, or I became accustomed to it, so the animation became more than serviceable. But anime is more than animation, and that's what every single Demon Slayer hater has been yelling for years. so there has to be more to MyGo than meets the eye. First of all, it's a drama, so Pochi the Rock style wacky animations that break the fourth wall and add to the comedy would not work here. If you come to MyGo expecting Pochi the Rock, but with idols, then you are not approaching this the right way, and it might not even be your fault. People just connect the dots at the most basic level, in this case girl bands, and recommend something that you never asked in the first place. So MyGo is a drama. And the big dramatic band breakup at the start kicks off our story. The mystery behind why Sakiko suddenly wanted to leave the band along with Mutsumi hangs over our characters for the entire series. And we only get clues during the series and a big puzzle piece reveal at the end. But I'll leave Sakiko and Mutsumi out for now. They are players in the story, but not the main focus. So let's start by talking generally about our characters and begin with our first focus character, Anon. Yes, that is her name. Stop giggling. Anon is a complete outsider to this earlier scene, and a good choice for our first focus character. Very outgoing, friendly, and eager to start her own band at her new school. She meets Tomori, one of the band members we saw at the Crysic break-up, and after fate hands Tomori's written song, Haruhikage, the song she wrote for Crysic, to Anon, she immediately tries to recruit her to form a band. I have to be honest, and the voice acting for Anon was at points grating, and I thought I can't take full 12 episodes if this is our main character. It didn't help that a lot of dialogue during the first 2 episodes were very fast paced, and there weren't many pauses between our characters talking to each other, and it felt somewhat uncanny. Thankfully, I was wrong on all counts about Anon. I thought the series was going to be reverse Pochi the Rock, where our main character is a mix of Nijika and Kita, who recruit Pochi to her new band, but after episode 3 it's made clear that if anyone is the main character, it's Tomori. Moving to Anon's voice, it did grow on me, and the dialogue felt better as the series went on. I'll talk about her more when I focus on the new band and their struggles, but Anon was consistently the funniest character, the most endearing, and if not for Tomori, she would have been the most relatable part of the series for me. I've name-dropped Tomori so many times, so may as well talk about her before moving on. Tomori is a neurodivergent vocalist and a songwriter, and a precious cinnamon bun, who needs to be cheered on. The way she enthusiastically talks about marine life is a joy to watch, and it's great to see a character other than Denji who absolutely loves penguins. Small things, how she keeps collecting and polishing rocks, how she arranges everything to be orderly, how she can only focus on one thing at a time, and most importantly, her being different is not played for jokes, and everyone cheers her on. That is the emotional core of this story. Tomori made me feel teary-eyed at points, and equally made me cringe in my chair and gave me such second-handed embarrassment that I found myself turning 90 degrees away from the screen multiple points during the series. If you need any convincing, then please watch episode 3 Crysic. It's a flashback episode told entirely in the eyes of Tomori, from her early childhood all the way to forming and breaking up of Crysic. Best episode of the series, hands down. And it even had something that I didn't expect at all. Negative comments on social media that linger on Tomori for most of the series and well after Crysic has disbanded. It's not as in-depth if you've seen Oshinoko, but it's really realistic portrayal how one negative comment in a sea of positive can still linger on a person's mind. I need to stop for now, because if I kept going, I would cuss more about Tomori, and trust me, I will. But let's introduce the last main players. Soyo is our bassist, and one trying to bridge the gap between ex-Crysic members and the new band members. At face value, she is willing to talk things out and really try to mend the bad blood between our characters. But I can't really say much more before going a bit deeper to the story, so that will have to wait for a bit. Taki is the drummer of our band, and the last Crysic member that I haven't talked about. Headstrong, she has no filter, which makes her come as cold at points, but she is passionate, and arguably the biggest supporter of Tomori, if she does not show it. Unfortunately, one of the biggest failings of the series is that Taki does not get that much focus compared to other members. Does he need it though? Maybe not, but there is something lacking about her that I can't properly convey. Don't get me wrong, she is a fine character and important to the story, but I just wanted a bit more. I just can't say what that more is. Lastly, there is Rana. She is literally a cat. A guitar prodigy who comes and goes as he pleases. Her full deal is not revealed yet, but there is more to her and we might see that in the future. She can read the room perfectly and can push for a change in the group with little effort. Tomori, Taki and Soyo are seemingly trying to put Crychick past them and really give a go with the new band along with Anon and the wildcard Rana. Turns out you need more than just good spirits to start a band and begin live performing. Anon turns out to be a fraud, she can't play guitar competitively at all, Taki calls this out and shows that even if you're correct, don't be an asshole about it. Tomori is still beating herself down over that one negative comment and blames herself that Crychick disbanded. Only Soyo and Rana seem to be on the page. And while Rana is unreliable, she in a weird way tries to push others to perform better. Soyo even tries to mend the past with other Crychick members and appears to be the most mature member of the group. I have to comment the show and say that focusing so much on trying to work as a band and showing these arguments raw works so well in MyGo. To compare it to Bocce, outside of maybe one or two offhanded mentions, there were never questions if they could not perform. Until our new band's very first live performance, I wasn't so sure. Anon really tries to learn guitar and almost quits the band after Kita berates her, while not realizing that her constantly changing the song sheets would wreck any newbie. This is the first real test for the group, as Anon runs away in tears and has a panic attack when she runs into her former classmates. Turns out she has been running away from when things get tough and faking her life to her friends. This is shown when she tried to study in England as a foreign exchange student but ran away back home instantly, which is fair. Who'd want to be in England? Tomori is the person that comes for her and tells her how Anon promised her that she would do this forever. I didn't mention this earlier, but the thing with Tomori's determination is that she really believes that they will do this forever. She was burned out once by Sakiko and she won't let another band disband because of her. This is obviously not true and no one blames Tomori, but it does light how a neurodivergent person can have an unusual way of thinking. This is why I said that the show treats Tomori with respect. When she makes a comment that feels absurd and other characters laugh, but the characters and the audience never laugh at her, but with her. Now that I think about it, I don't think Tomori laughs at all. You know what I mean when I say we laugh with her. Even when talking about Anon, I can't help but to talk about Tomori. I'm sorry, but at this point of the story it's made clear that Tomori is the glue that holds this group of friends together, and this becomes abundantly clear after the first live show together. The butting heads of Anon and Kita and Taki really drive the drama at this point. Taki gets her moment when after too many long nights, she does not take Anon's comments well about her song composing. This is the second incident that almost breaks the band, and can you guess how it's mended? Tomori brings out the animal band-aids to Anon and Kita, Taki, and they talk about it. I love this talk. This leads us nicely to their first live event at episode 7 at the Ring. This event was painful at the start, uplifting and inspiring at the same time. Tomori loses her voice at the start, but as the things start to look dire, she finds it and lets it rip. My only problem with this performance is that the sound mixing is muted when it comes to vocals. Tomori's voice is drowned by other instruments, which I guess is kind of the point, but still. It could have been louder, but it's a minor nitpick, and this does not come up again. After this, we get a heartfelt speech by Tomori, and Rana shows that she can read the room and starts to play the opening notes of Haru Hikage, and the band performs it to the amusement of everyone, except 3 people. Sakiko and Mutsumi are in the audience, and neither are amused by it. Sakiko storms out, teary-eyed, and Soyo sees this and is crestfallen. Soyo was trying to mend the bad blood between our ex-band members, even to go as far to beg Sakiko to tell her what she can do to try and understand why Sakiko left the band. After the performance, Soyo lashes out at Taki, Tomori, Rana and Anon. What should have been their greatest moment yet turns sour immediately. If there is an antagonist in this story, then it's Kraichik and Haruhikage. Their shadow looms over our characters, enveloping them and making sure they cling to the past as much as possible. Soyo does not show up at the band rehearsals anymore. Rana is not motivated after Tomori shows indecisiveness if the band should keep going without Soyo. Taki places way too much responsibility on Tomori when at this point she is not ready to make that decision. Tomori just now lost another friend and she blames herself that it happened again. Anon tries to be positive, but after trying to reach Soyo multiple times for no avail, she becomes disheartened. They try to replace Soyo, but it does not feel right. When Taki manages to get a hold of Soyo, who tells Taki that this new band was just a substitute for Kraichik, and Soyo used everyone to get the old band back together. Anon and Rana were just tools to get Kraichik together, and she makes it clear that she does not care if they're there or not. After Anon hears this, she quits the band and tells Tomori she should go with Soyo so they can be happy, since they don't need her. The band has disbanded, leading to the story's lowest point. Now you could blame Soyo. I certainly did. I audibly said to myself, "Whoa, that was cold as fuck," at multiple points, but thankfully we get her backstory. Soyo feels neglected. Her mother works hard and never has time for her, and it's not like her mother is a bad person. It's just reality that she works hard to put Soyo through a good school, and in exchange she has to work unreasonable hours. To Soyo, Kraichik was the family she lacked, and playing Haruhikage made sure that she can never have that family back. You know what I haven't talked about in a while? Tomori. Like I said earlier, she once again blames the falling out on her ability to perform. This might be Tomori at her most relatable. Sometimes when I look at what I've done and I start to think if it was my fault that something bad happened. Of course, I don't take these to heart like Tomori does. It's still that small voice in the back of my mind that casts doubts by repeating, "What if it was your fault?" Tomori tries to talk with Anon, but their relationship feels distant. Rana is nowhere, and Soyo has said her piece. Then something extraordinary happens. Through a chance encounter, Tomori gets a newfound resolve. She starts to perform solo at the ring and delivers a heartfelt speech how she no longer has a band but still wants to perform. This leads to episode 10, Always Lost, and it might be the most unrealistic part of the entire show. No one enjoys slam poetry, but the audience at the ring find the vocalist without a band endearing and support her, so Tomori keeps doing them. One by one, our band members hear what Tomori has been doing and come back to the stage. First one is Rana, who once again acts like a cat and just starts vibing with Tomori. This leads to a chain effect where Rana brings Taki back and Tomori brings Anon back, and Anon brings Soyo back to the ring. Soyo is still bitter about everything and only comes back to ring to finally end the band for good. But thankfully, things don't go her way. Once Tomori sees Soyo in the audience, she rushes at her and drags her back to the stage. With tears in their eyes, they perform Utako Toba. I have to admit that I did choke up when I first watched this episode, and it's arguably the best episode along with episode 3. It made me physically recoil at points from all the second-hand embarrassment. It made me emotional and cheer for this little group of lost girls that are trying to find their place. It made me glad that I decided to watch this anime. All the problems I had with the CGI, Anon's voice being grating, gone. At this point, I didn't care about these aspects at all. When MyGO hits, it hits hard. And at this point, I realized that when it comes to anime depicting girls bands, Bang Dream, It's MyGO, has surpassed Bocce the Rock in my list. I still think Bocce the Rock is funnier, better produced, and all around product of love. And I still stand by that you can't really compare the two shows one to one, but man, Bocce never hit me like Bang Dream, It's MyGo did. After all this, our band prepares for their next live performance, and this time they work as a team. With a tight deadline, they crash at each other's place and work tirelessly to put out a new song, while at the same time making costumes and designing the name for the band. The band ends up being called MyGo, which, if you were familiar with the show, hopefully did not confuse you when I shortened the title for convenience. The second live performance is a triumph for our band, as everyone, new and old, come to cheer them on, and they perform like a complete unit. A well-deserved victory for our band of lost girls. 12th episode ends with a little teaser for the second season, since there are still some loose ends, and that's that. Or I would say that, if there wasn't an episode 13. Not kidding. I was finishing my notes when credits for 12th episode were rolling, and took a step back when I noticed that Crunchyroll started to play episode 13. I guess we have one more episode to go through, and it's mostly set up for the second season, which has already been confirmed. We spent little time with MyGo, and focused mostly on Sakiko and other members of her new band, Ave Mujiga, which is interesting. It's comprised of ex-Cry Chief member Mutsumi and 3 other characters, Yuika, Yahata and Yu Tenji, who have been side characters during the first season. Ave Mujiga is a project set up by Sakiko to create manufactured idol band with a big reveal, with, I kid you not, a theater performance.
This play has everything.
I love legitimate theater.
The deal with them is that their real-life identities are secret. But looking at these masks, you remember when I said that Tomori's slam poetry wooing audiences was a bit unrealistic? Yeah, this doubles it 10 times over. I'm also a bit skeptical. Machine Industry Idol group being the focus point for next season? Nice contrast to our grassroots group, MyGo. But I have to wonder if you see any negatives about the idol industry, since you know, the entire Pandari universe is set up by an industry conglomerate. I guess we will have to wait and see. I guess it's time to wrap up this video and talk about the our anime awards a bit and... Holy shit, what was that? Yeah, what a reveal to show to your audience at the last seconds. It all makes sense now. Ave Mujiga keep up their hilarious mask because Sakiko has been keeping up appearances ever since the mystery event that changed her and made her quit Cry Chick. Forget everything I said about my tepid interest for season 2. I'm hyped now and can't wait to see where this goes. So that was Bang Dream, It's MyGo. And if you're coming here to hear my thoughts about why juries are important in awards, then it's going to be a short video for you. Sorry, I wrote about Bang Dream, It's MyGo way more than I originally intended. Like I said in my preamble, that awards shows, especially anime awards, tend to be dominated by what's popular. And gems like Bang Dream, It's MyGo never have a chance. It's only when passionate fans of the entire medium who watch multiple series from different genres each season start to weed off the chaff from the absolute bangers that most never gave a chance do we get amazing anime like Bang Dream, It's MyGo that do deserve that popularity. You can even track this by looking at the engagement during the anime's original airing and compare it to the recent rewatch after the awards. It's night and day. I spent some time going through popular anime publications and YouTubers to see if anyone gave a shout out to Bang Dream, It's MyGo at their summer 2023 roundup or at their end of the year awards. During summer roundup, only Mother's Basement and Gigak even highlighted MyGo. And for Gigak, I had to check out the word of award to find anything.
Bocce the fuck.
Only awards outside of our anime were from anime feminists who gave Bang Dream, It's MyGo a shout out. which makes them based. I should say that I'm not sitting on anyone who didn't give MyGo a fair shot. I mean, I didn't, and if you had asked me at the end of 2023 what was my anime of the year, I would have said Vinland Saga Season 2. And I still might, but anyway, I've rambled enough. Bang Dream, It's MyGo, is available on Crunchyroll, and I think it goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. I strongly recommend that you give Bang Dream, It's MyGo a watch, especially if idol anime is out of your comfort zone, or you're bothered by CGI. You might find yourself pleasantly surprised. As for me, maybe I give Uma Musume or Precure a shot. Don't know yet. Thank you for watching and stay lost together. I just wish there was a standard of what kinds of nomination each year. Like, how can the same season of Jujutsu Kaisen be nominated for the anime of the year in 2022 and 2021? Makes no goddamn sense.